This is Crypto Core Radio, discussing the ideas, people, and projects building the new digital economy. Get the latest on blockchain technology and cryptocurrency updates with your host, Lutz.
Hello and welcome to Core Radio. This is Lutz coming to you live. Today we have ChainMakers on board the ship.
Hello.
And hello. Hi. Hey, what's up, CU?
All good.
Welcome.
Thanks.
So what have you been up to? CU is the top guy at ChainMakers. ChainMakers is one of the 3 services currently available that can make a chain for you on the Komodo platform with DPoW. 51% attack protection. CU has been around for many years now. I've known him since I worked with Komodo. That 3 years, 4 years ago?
It's been quite a time. I think already 3 years.
So how did you get into ChainMakers? Well, how did that start?
Well, it's a long story, but
okay.
Initially, it was just one day that we were testing the first iterations of Market Maker. I remember we were doing some tests and we did some public tests. And I remember that we had a prize for that could buy the most Koki, I remember. A coin that I made for testing Market Maker and at the same time for distributing it in Puerto Rico. The thing is that I remember that I teamed up with Jorian so that it could help me set up the servers and set everything up for the test. And we did the test and it was a success partially a success, right? Because back then Market Maker wasn't as easy to use as it is now.
Right.
But it was a great experiment. It worked. At the same time, while we were preparing everything, we noticed that back then getting all this stuff done and ready to go and ready to be public, it was not as easy. And at the same time, we started to get calls and, people started reaching us by private messages asking if we could do the whole sell coin setup, like setting up all the servers for them to make a coin, sell it.
Right.
And we were like, yeah, we can do that. That seems like something that not many people are able to. So I guess there is, some business there.
Awesome, yeah, and then you saw a niche that you could jump into. There weren't many people doing it, and you found yourself a good business model. That's a nice job.
Yeah.
So ChainMakers makes only Komodo chains, right?
Yeah, we only concentrate in Komodo technology.
Okay. And if somebody wanted to create a chain using ChainMakers, how would they go about doing that?
Well, it's basically just chatting for a bit. First of all, I like to talk to the person, let them in what they want to do, be sure that they are able or not able to do it themselves, because I don't like to, I don't like to charge people that I know can handle things.
Right.
We have a very free mentality in that sense. Like, if you're able to do it yourself, we can just help you mostly for free to set things up. If you need us to actually, set up servers and set up the whole blockchain infrastructure, then we do charge and, charge some maintenance fees and that stuff. But overall, it's more like a consultancy thing, like We
Right.
we just make sure that the project or the idea that people bring us is viable, it's possible to do, and also how complex it is to do, because not everyone, has a viable idea.
Right. And many of them are not technically savvy to understand even what they want. And so they
Yeah,
come to you and they ask for advice. If I want stripper coin, right? Because I have a lot of strippers that work for me. And you know, why are you laughing? And each coin I want to be worth something so that the stripper doesn't have to collect cash. You just have to scan the barcode I put on her body, you know, and you could easily just pay like that.
yeah, exactly. And actually, some that brings an example of many not issues, but the way people think is that we're chain makers and we're making a chain, and once the blockchain is done, like everything will work on itself, like because it is decentralized. But
Right.
the reality is that many people wants to do a business, and even if it is on a blockchain environment, businesses need attention, they need work, they need secondary development that is not on the backend or the blockchain itself, but
Mhm.
more about interfaces and user
UI.
UIs, and
Yeah,
and the whole infrastructure of a business. It is not as easy as sometimes people think. It's
right.
you
Well,
gotta like, oh, I have strippers, and I'll just make a blockchain, and strippers can use a barcode and do this and that, and it's like, yeah, but you need the whole GUI and the whole user experience, the UX, for the stripper to understand what they want and what they want to do, right?
yeah. Well, yeah, we'll come up with that later. I'll get some developers to make the UI on the dark web. But why are you laughing? Um, so we make this stripper coin, right? And then you could advise me if I'm technically savvy and I could do it myself, or uh, you guys could set up the servers. Uh, what? How about pricing? Is it expensive? Like what's the what differentiates you from the other three services available today?
Well, on our side, what we like to say is that with us, you're gonna have a more personal experience, in the sense
That's what my
that
strippers say.
you will have someone to talk to. We are always online. We're always attentive. We're always
That's right, and
there.
I tell them to say the same thing.
And the thing is that for many people, and not that's more important, because many people have more questions than,
Yeah,
and
because
they
a
want
lot of
someone
them.
to talk to, and that's
Yeah,
our service is more personalized in that sense.
especially if you get somebody that doesn't even know how these things work. It's probably, oh my god, it's probably a few hours of questions.
Few
Uh,
hours. It's crazy.
yeah,
it's
what is a
it's
blockchain? Well,
actually,
you got to start from the
it's
beginning.
yeah, it's hard,
Hey,
actually.
go ahead.
Not so easy, not so
I
easy.
I
Sometimes
could
it's
only.
months and months of people asking stuff,
Mm,
changing their minds halfway, and then ask more stuff, and
yeah,
you
just
know
getting
and
information out of you. That's normally how it goes.
yeah,
Yeah, you
exactly.
probably have the patience of a saint.
I'm quite patient. I sometimes just burst, but
You
normally
still
not with my clients.
you still have hair?
I'm losing it, actually,
Of
bit by
course,
bit.
that's what happens. So you have I see you have an application that people are testing. What's that about?
Yeah, that's chain swap. That's the whole evolution of what we initially wanted to since the beginning, because the first thing that we actually realized was that the whole server setup and everything is just one part. That's just the background, the backend. It's like making a database. You have a database, yeah, but who will interact with it and how will interact with it?
Right.
And our mission was always to make people able to have an exchange where they could get the whole service of creating the chain and doing the setup, but at the same time being able to offer their coins for selling, fundraising, or just for people that mine them to be able to exchange somewhere in a decentralized way and in within Komodo technology. And back then, we started working with the GUIs that were being done, but since Market Maker 1 had so many issues and it was just a first proof of work, um, it it got difficult, and our setup, oh, even if we didn't want to, for example, if we were going to set up a market maker node for you, you would have to trust us because we were accessing your servers and we had access to your private keys, even though we are very honest in this sense, and we don't like to have anything to do with your funds. We still had that issue, and it was something that we needed to fix.
Right.
And there was no easy way to fix it because the issue was that most people don't know how to set the whole Linux servers, install the market maker, build the market maker, create the scripts that you need to set up for the orders, and set up the coins file with the coins that you wanted and the setups that are needed and everything. And it got too complicated even for the most savvy clients we had.
Yep.
So what we did was that we concentrated our funds and the efforts on getting a developer, which is Nam. He's from Vietnam. He's a great developer. He has been helping us building this GUI.
Okay.
And well, we built a GUI where if you have the coin, you create the infrastructure of the coin, you mine it, or set the Electrum servers and set the explorer and all that stuff, then we can add it to ChainSwap, which is our decentralized exchange, and just set the orders yourself and become a market maker yourself for the coin that you want to sell. And that eliminates the whole trust thing, and it eliminates the whole backend coding part for the users. And you just add the coin, or we add the coin for you, and you get the release, and you can just set your orders and do that yourself.
Oh, very
So
nice.
we had that as a goal. And well, I know that Komodo as a team, Komodo platform has a decentralized exchange too, but there's some slight differences market wise. Like we will offer, cheaper addition fees. We will have desktop version plus mobile version, and well, just the same more personalized effort and help.
Okay. More comfortable to deal with. I understand.
Yeah.
So if we were to put something on yours, would it be compatible with theirs also? Like if we traded something, would we be able to trade on, I believe it's called barter decks, or what is it now? Instadex. It used to be Instadex.
The new Dex, the mobile one, it's Atomic Dex. Yeah.
Now it's Atomic Dex. The thing with Komodo over the years is that they just can't get the name straight.
Yeah, because
they like to change names all the time.
Yeah, true.
But that's like a marketing hell. That craziness. Trust me. You build hundreds of links all over the place for Instadex, and then they change it to barter decks, right? And then you make hundreds of good backlinks and banners and all sorts of posters and designs, and then they change it again. So that's got to be like a hell for the marketing team over there. But that aside, let's not get off course. So is the app working right now? How far along are you with the chain swap?
Well, it's right now. Today we released the first public beta.
Okay.
Right now, as I am talking to you, I am having feedback on our ChainMaker Discord. Some people are testing it. It's really good because the good part of ChainSwap is that we are using the same network IDs in the network of Atomic Dex that Komodo platform is using. So if you set an order, let's say Bitcoin Komodo order,
Mhm.
you will be able to see it in Atomic Dex too.
Right.
So
That's what I meant to say. That's what I was trying to
yeah.
say earlier. Yeah.
So through ChainSwap, you will be able to provide liquidity to Atomic Dex. So it's everyone wins with this.
Yeah. That's it. It's
Uh,
it's like all the exchanges in one. That's fantastic. They're all working with each other's liquidity and orders.
exactly. It's like the people that prefer a desktop simpler version can use same ChainSwap. If you prefer the mobile version, you can use Atomic Dex. If you're
Mhm.
more experienced in trading and want a more detailed interface, then when HyperDex is ready, you can use that too. And it's nice because everyone provides liquidity for everyone.
Yeah.
And at the same time, for example, we could do releases for special fundraising coins
I
or
see.
for
Mhm.
special setups where we can use another net ID and be sure to use a network that only is working with the orders provided in that release, which is nice too because that makes some privacy that can help people that want to do fundraising but maybe they want to comply with KYC. There's people
Mhm.
that want to, there's people that don't like it, but I like to think that everyone can have what they want. So if for example you want to do a fundraiser for just a party or just a group of people that you already approve or did KYC with them, you can then give them access to this special release which uses a network ID that it's secret in the sense that no one, if you don't make it public, right? No one should be able to know for sure which network ID you're using. So you can do a fundraise in a private setup.
Awesome. That's it. So how anonymous can this be? If you don't like KYC, can you really be 100% anonymous? And is the Dex like a true Dex? Unlike Crypto Bridge, which is not a true Dex, is this a real?
Yeah. If we, for example, use the public network IDs where all decks are connected, you can just provide liquidity for the network, and you are well. The special thing about Atomic Dex, ChainSwap, Barter Dex, InstaDex, whatever you want to call it, the whole Dex on Komodo, the good part is that it works like a node. It works the same way as the Bitcoin network or Komodo network in the sense that you can only access the network when you are online and when you are connected to the network of nodes. Your
Okay.
orders are only available for the network when you are online.
Okay.
So, in that sense, there's no centralized order book, there's no centralized marketplace in the sense that there's no one server or one network of servers or centralized corporation that
Mhm.
needs to um, post orders and maintain records. And
Okay.
in that way, as for what the SEC has been saying on their regulatory notifications, the whole deal of not having a centralized place where you can post orders and make them available for someone else, it's what makes the difference in Komodo platform to other dexes like, I don't know, CryptoBridge or Bancor or whatever other token exchange you want to use.
Oh, very
Um,
cool.
yeah, and that's actually pretty amazing because it's fully compliant. It's purely peer to peer, like in the sense that you can
Send something directly to somebody else with nobody in the middle.
exactly. There's
And
no
that's the best way to go. There's some old like sharing. If you before crypto was even crypto, there was SoulSeek. There was like sharing platforms that were better than others. Where you could just directly connect with that other people, see what they have, and trade music and movies with them without having something in the middle. Like BearShare had like a Nutella network. They had something in the middle where it could be shut down, where something like SoulSeek, it can't really be shut down.
yeah. Actually, it's like BitTorrent.
Right. Yes.
It's pretty much like BitTorrent. Actually, Artem, the developer of the new iteration of Market Maker, the new version, ones that we're using now,
Mhm.
he actually used part of BitTorrent's code
Okay. Oh
because
yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, because well, yeah, it's
It
you
works.
yeah, you create a file locally in your computer, but then broadcast the information of that file in the network. So what you do is that you just share the information that complies with the user that already has that same UUID on another computer. So the great thing about Market Maker 2 is that even if you, for example, have very bad internet connection and you are connecting in a swap with a user, as long as you guys stay online, like in the sense that you can go offline for a few seconds or a few minutes, but once you go online again, the network already has the IDs for the files, and if you both are online, they just fetch each other and end the downloading in, like, in quotes, of the swap.
Yep.
And that's very interesting because, like you said, all other exchange, decentralized exchange are like, let's say, Napster, but
Right.
we are more like BitTorrent, and that's pretty amazing.
That is amazing. That's awesome. I just had an interview with Chainzilla, and they have a coin, and I just talked to Utrim also, and they have another coin of their own for their project. Do you guys have a coin for your project?
Yeah, we have Chain.
Chain, that's the name of it. CHAIN.
Yep.
Awesome. Tell me about the
We
coin real quick.
well, right now the coin is more for Jorian and me to share revenues.
Okay.
We use multi-signature addresses to the revenue we receive. We store them in multi-signature addresses, and we just distribute them between him and me, given the quantity of coins that we have. So right now, it works more like private equity for us. It's not a share, like a stock. We cannot do that because, first of all, I am an American citizen, so I cannot make it public. Like, and
Right.
I cannot share
That's
revenue with anyone else that are not part of the corporation.
gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
yeah, it's more a token
Awesome.
that we use inside the corporation for our uh, accounting more than anything.
Hold on. I got to tell these people you're live so they stop bothering you.
Well, we're not making any effort to sell it as a revenue share thing or anything. Like, that's why we don't promote it.
All right, yeah, that's okay, that's understandable. You know what? I'm not even going to ask any more questions about that. But they do have a coin. It's called Chain, and maybe in the future we'll see more of it. And maybe
We're definitely thinking seriously on making it something else, a
Mhm.
utility. Bring a utility to it.
Right, like stripper coins.
So far, our ideas, or well, the technologies for what we have been thinking are not, you know, um, ready enough. Let's say
Hmm.
they're still very experimental technologies, and that James JL777 is working on. And once the technologies are ready to go, we think that we might be able to just change the whole concept of the token, the chain token, or the chain
Hmm.
blockchain,
Right.
and do something else with it. But right now, we're not executing anything because we feel the technologies are not ready for it.
All right, that's understandable, and we've waited a long time for JL777 to create what we see now. So, we are at the precipice of great technology, and there's a lot more to come. Every year, there's always some more stuff, and every time they throw a new law out there or they attack us in some way, we transform. Right, like they attack the exchanges. Now we got decentralized exchanges. We're just amazing. This community is amazing like that. Uh, what's the website for ChainMakers? If people wanted to come in and find out about ChainMakers, is there information where they could contact you if they want to build a chain?
Yeah, it's chainmake.rs.
Okay,
That's our
chainmake.rs.
chainmake.rs. Yeah, it's like chain makers, but with the dot before the rs.
Awesome. And is there? I'm not even going to ask if there's an email address. You probably want to stay a little more anonymous. Um,
No, no, no. We You can reach us to support@chainmake.rs.
mhm.
Or if you want to personally contact me, you can send an email to siu@chainmake.rs. Also, we are always available in Komodo platform Discord and and Chainmakers Discord. And we're always there. I am
Awesome.
always attentive to the chat and always answer. So,
Cool. Yeah, I see a lot of people in there too, especially today. I guess because the beta is now the new beta is out, right? So,
yeah.
Chain Swap beta is out today, fellas. If you guys want to play around with it, jump into Chain Makers and help test it. See what issues you could come up with. Are there any bounties for bugs if people find bugs?
Yeah, I am personally giving away a couple of Komodos to anyone that finds any bug.
Awesome.
Also, you know if anyone wants to help and come forward and help on anything, we are available always to negotiate a bounty and do anything that worth for the
Awesome.
bug.
Very cool. See you. I see you's the man. He's been around for many, many years. I used to do a meeting every week with the Komodo team when I was on the marketing team for Komodo, and he used to show up every week like religion. It was amazing. So he's a dedicated worker. He's got a great work morale, and he's a really, really nice guy, as you can see. So if you guys need some assistance with creating a chain, see you as your man. See you. Thank
Yeah.
you for coming on today. I love you, brother.
Thanks. I love you too, man.
You did a
I
great
like,
job.
I want to give special thanks to all the community in Komodo. Anyone that is hearing and knows the Komodo community, you guys know that we are a special kind. I have been to several meetings. I have met several of the community members personally. And sincerely, there's never been one person that I say it's not special in this community. I love this place. Like,
All
it's
right.
a really
This is home.
Yeah, this is home for people that look into the future with bright eyes. It's really nice.
Yeah, SuperNet's always been home for me. So
Yeah,
I do venture out into the wild, but then I always come back home.
exactly. Yeah, the same with me. Like I have been to other places, and it's just not the same. Here is like different. It's just different.
People are,
Even
I'll tell you what it is. People are more intelligent.
yeah, I think so. Part of the it's intelligent people, but it's just the warm welcome for people with with good ideas, I guess. I
Yeah,
think that um
yeah,
like
yeah. I've gone to
last
JL7.
month I was at the K64 meetup, well, sorry, the expo, and I met a bunch of people of the community there, and it was just so spontaneous friendship, like we had
Mhm.
such a blast in, I don't know how, less than 24 hours of meeting personally,
Yeah.
and that's, I appreciate that, and that's really nice.
Commodore 64. That was my first computer.
Yeah.
I still haven't looked into that project. I have to spend some time on it. Maybe they could come on and give me an interview so they could teach me on air. I know it's definitely new because I haven't seen it for I've been here a long time, right, Sue? So that's like one of the newer ones.
I'm more like from clones or compact presarios and on. I
Oh,
am younger in that sense. I was not into computers back when the Commodore was standard.
dude, Commodore. I didn't even use it. I just used it to play video games when I was a kid. Like Joust and and they were all I was able to put the big floppy disk in. I was able to load up the
Yeah.
files on it. I When I first got it, my parents were like, "You got to talk to it." And so I said, "Hello, computer." I typed it in, and it said syntax error. And everything I typed in said syntax error. I was like, "What the hell are you guys talking about? This thing doesn't even work." So,
By my time, it was floppy disk. I remember having like a huge packet of floppy disk, like I don't know, hundred floppy disks that had I don't know how many games in it, and you had to just put a floppy disk, do some commands, then put another one and do some other commands, and a game could pop up, and you could play with it like with the keyboard. I remember that was my first experience. But shortly after, I got internet in my home, and that's when everything got south. I started, looking for chats and stuff, IRC chat, and the computer started to get viruses and everything. You know, I damaged some computers, and
you discovered porno? Like, oh my
yeah,
god!
well, I wasn't going. Actually, I remember that first time I connected to the internet, I remember saying even to my mom, like, let's see if there is really everything in the internet. And I searched for playboy.com, and it was actually a website, and it was actually about Playboy, their magazine. My mom was like, oh no.
Ma, you're gonna have to leave the room. I'm sorry. Lock the door on the way out.
It was so funny.
I'm gonna need some time. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, it was like the meme of the little guy that the mom is like, Johnny, don't look there. They're gonna they're gonna be do you wrong. And Johnny
Yeah.
just looks there, and he comes back with sunglasses and a cool t-shirt like, hey mom, when moon.
my my grandma used to call every time there were boobs or girls got naked on the TV because in Italy there's no censorship like that.
Right.
She'd call them butanes. She go, ah, sti butane. Every time she saw them. Over here we got
That's
censorship all
funny.
over the goddamn place. That shit needs to change.
Oh really?
All right, brother man. I love you, buddy. Good job.
Okay, it's been a pleasure. Thanks.
Chain
Anytime you
makers.
want to have an interview again, I'm open to it. I'm sorry we couldn't get it done before.
Oh no,
But
don't worry about it, man. I got the radio show here all the time. You tell me you have an update, or you just want to come on to talk more about the latest things going on in the environment. Just let me know, man. It's a different room. I have a whole radio room now. I moved into a new house, so I have a room just for my broadcasting station and my radio. So
nice, nice.
I simply just walk over to the other room,
Yeah.
and we're on radio.
Well, for now, I'll take a little bit of time just to say, like, download ChainSwap, do some test chain swaps. If you want to experiment with providing liquidity, use the sell page to sell whatever coin you want for whatever pair you want. We're working very hard to, for the next release, get ERC20s. Added. So we will have USDT pairs, USDC pairs, the stable coins. We are also planning not for next release, but for, I don't know, I hope that for the couple of next releases, we can do a connect to server setup where you can use ChainSwap to connect to a remote server and set up orders. So then you can just close the app and leave the orders running,
Nice.
and just interact with the server through the app. We are also experimenting with developing a new concept. We're calling it the evolution of the DICO. It's just basically a name change, but we're doing DEOs, decentralized exchange offerings.
Say that again. Decentralized what?
We are planning on creating a new concept, what we call the evolution of the DICOs. We're calling them decentralized exchange offerings, which is DEO. It's the same concept as the DICOs, but since we're using Market Maker 2, we're using the concept of chain swap, and we're building the whole infrastructure around it. We're actually changing the name to getting some credit to how Komodo works, changing names and stuff. So
that's all right, man. As long as you keep working on it, that's the most important thing. As long as it's okay. You're refining the process. That it's not Komodo's fault really that they keep changing the name. They just keep finding better things that work. It's hellish on the marketing, but
in my experience, it's just that technology is never done. You're always finding better ways to do it, and you always have this ultimate idea, but it's always a step ahead and a step ahead. And well, I don't know, it's not easy.
It's fine tuning.
Not easy, and
it's like a website.
We're working. I gotta say, we don't have the huge budgets that Komodo once had or has still, or not even Komodo, because comparatively Komodo doesn't have that huge of a budget, but we don't have the budgets that many other coins have. We are actually like really we work mostly with what we get from the notary notes and a bit of fundraising that we have done, and some of the income that we have done from our clients, which are not that much actually. There's not so much of clients that we have.
It's gonna come, man. It's gonna come. As soon as Komodo blows up, the ChainMakers, Red Fox, and Chainzilla are gonna be top. You guys are gonna make so much money. Trust me. It's gonna be like Ethereum. Everybody wants to build a chain all of a sudden. Everybody's uncle and brothers are gonna start doing it.
But that's the thing. Like Komodo provides for people that don't have the huge budgets to make things that other projects spend long millions on. Like
developers, yeah.
And with what we did with ChainSwap, that's something that any other project would have spent, I don't know, millions of dollars easily. We have done it with a very limited budget. It's not even more than $20,000. and we have used them, like I say, intelligently. I don't know, like we're
Yep.
not out spending all the money crazy,
Right. You use it.
doing crazy
You're
stuff.
yeah. You're budgeting. You're using it wisely. It's always
Yeah,
always the way to
wisely. Yeah,
go.
wisely. Yeah,
That's why I give my money to somebody else, because if I had it in my hands, I start buying a lot of things.
but well, that's what I wanted to say.
You did.
Take the time for.
Yeah. Good job, man. Good job. And you know what? Your English is better than I ever thought. It's gotten better since I first spoke to you.
Yeah, it's. I always knew English, but it's the practice that makes the better.
Hey, you're doing great, brother. Keep up the good work. If you have updates, just contact me. You know where to find me, Crypto Core Media. And have a good day, brother. I love you, man. And
Thanks.
everybody,
I love
hey,
you too. And have I hope you have like the
what was you back? You still there?
you gave me props on my English and I forgot it.
He lost his English. Somebody help him
I lost
find it.
it.
I'll send the stripper over.
But,
She'll help you find it.
but
Don't
I
worry.
wish the best to your program, to your radio program.
Oh yeah, I do this for fun. So.
Nice.
All right, brother.
Well, see ya. Have a nice
Later, man.
afternoon or night. I don't know what hour is.
Afternoon over here.
Cool. Here too.
All right, brother. Everybody
Okay.
out there, thank you for listening. This was ChainMakers. They are one of the 3 services you could use to build your own chain. Don't bother using Ethereum anymore. That's a dead horse. Even though Andreas Antonopoulos doesn't think so, he obviously hasn't heard of Komodo. So if you want to make a chain on Komodo, it is hell of a lot easier. And now they have this thing called Composer, and I checked it out with all these modules, and they're going to be adding more. But dude, this is really, really cool. Really cool. You can make I envision a world where there's not just one money, right? Because the difference between money and other valuable things is that money is just the most popular one, right? So fiat is just the most popular currency, right? So the difference between currencies is money is just the most popular one. There's going to be a lot of monies. If you own an ice cream shop, you're going to have ice cream coin, right? You can make your own coin. You can make it valuable. If people want ice cream, they're going to have some of your coins in their wallet. So I imagine hundreds of coins being used regularly. Oil change coin. You need an oil change on your car? I got some oil change coin here. We'll go get an oil change real quick. I think that's where the world is going. And people like CU, he's at the precipice of this new technology where people are going to want things made. It may not happen this year, but it's going to happen within the next 10 years, I believe. And he's a young buck, so he's got plenty of time. All right, so that's ChainMakers. Are you still there, brother?
Yeah. Thanks for the invitation.
You're listening to my closing over here? I do pretty good, right?
You actually do.
All right, brother. That's ChainMaker. Chain MAKE.RS. So that's ChainMakers. Check him out. If you need anything, he'll advise you. If you want something, servers and the whole shebang, he'll give you a good price. And he's been around a long time, so he's definitely trustable. When I say somebody's trustworthy, that's I never say that. So if I'm saying it, it's worth something. All right, fellas, this is Lutz. I love you all. Signing out.
This has been Crypto Core Radio. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Tell your friends so they can be among the first to learn about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency advancement in the new digital economy.